It is so inspiring for me to see a woman making that stand, building the movement, bringing our stories forward, because really, this is what it's going to take. It is going to take all of us. And if we don't think that this is political, it is absolutely political. The reality is that our wombs are the only things that men can't have. So the reality is the only way to control us is to control our wombs. So here we go. We are going to make sure that that's not going to happen. And I am so proud to be here today to support Shout Your Abortion, to support all of you who are doing this work, making this a grassroots movement, because I believe that the only way we make political change happen is through a grassroots movement. There was a time when politics and policy came first, that people in government actually put forward the kind of policy before maybe the country was ready for it. That's not where we are now. Where we are now is that we actually have to build the movement for the things that we believe in. And then we have to convince people with all sorts of tactics that it is time to make that change happen. So it is time to overturn the Hyde Amendment. Actually, it was a time a long time ago, never should have been there to start with. It is time to make sure that we provide funding for abortion, because that is our choice as women to make that decision about whether we're going to have children or not, and nobody should be able to take that right away from us. And it is time for us to tell our stories, because I'll tell you, every single one of our stories about whether we have an abortion, how we have an abortion, when we have an abortion, is part of who we are. And if we can't bring our whole selves to this country, then it is not fully a democracy. And until we do that, we are going to have to be fighting for it. And yeah, I am one of those people who wants to make sure that white men don't just do all the shit. So I'm going to make sure. So I'm the only woman of color in the state Senate right now. The only woman of color. So. But I want to make sure that there are many people here who are going to run for office, because you have got to make change happen not only from the outside, but also from the inside. That's why I decided to run after years of being a community organizer and an advocate, taking on the Bush administration, making sure that we stopped illegal deportations across the country, forming the largest immigrant advocacy organization so that we could bring undocumented immigrants out of the shadows. And I decided to run for office because I'm tired of not having enough women, not having enough people of color, not having enough movement organizers. And so I just want to say to you that we need to transform the political system on every level. It isn't just in one place, but we actually have to make sure that we are electing people who understand that the energy is from the grassroots and from the movement, and that for us to be able to bring our whole selves into being is probably the most important thing we can do. And in order to do that, our stories, the stories of every single one of these people that are around us today, every one of you that's here today, that is what makes the whole picture happen. So I really am so proud to be here today just to say that this movement that you are building, that we are building, is actually what it's going to require for us to make a change in Congress. And yes, I am running for the 7th Congressional District. And we will elect the first woman in the 7th Congressional District. And the first Indian American woman ever elected to Congress. And we will take the political revolution with Shout Your Abortion and everything else we are trying to do to the United States Congress, all of us together. We are going to do this, and I want you to think about this, the ability to talk to people on the door and to tell them about your story, so that people understand why you're working in this movement and for the rights that we're working for. Because a lot of people don't think about it. It's very removed. And so your stories are what are going to allow us to really be powerful as we go forward. So thank you all so much for being here. I just want to give another shout out to Amelia, to Shout Your Abortion, to every single one of you that are here. Let's give it power to the people as we go forward. Thank you.